Hey everyone, it's Adam here with American Pet Transport. I just want to make a topic that I've been having a lot of issues with actually recently, and I've been trying to do things to help prevent it, but no matter how much I try, I still run into it. So this subject is about health certificates if you need one. So, I am USDA licensed and I have to follow a guide called a Blue Book that has all the USDA regulations from like a hamster to a whale. It covers everything in between. Now, not all those pages apply to me, so I have to kind of sift through what I need. Federally, it says I do need a health certificate and it must be dated within 10 days and good for 30 days. Well, 10 days from the time that I pick up. So from like day 1 to day 10. Now, I have in some circumstances have called the USDA where some states say 30 days and I've been told default to the state. Um, a lot of the states' regulations are different. Sometimes they don't need just a health certificate, they need an import permit. Some states require a quarantine period. I'm going to provide a link down in the comment section below of how to find your specific state and country on the USDA website to find the requirements. Now, some states, they're easy. They're just bluntly right there. Some of them, you've got to pull state statutes. I know Virginia, I had to go through 400 pages to find the information that I needed. And that's just part of being a responsible USDA licensed transporter. Now, with that in mind, anyone that's receiving some sort of payment to transport an animal has to have a USDA license. Or they legally they can't do it. So even if you gave your neighbor, your friend $500 to pick up a dog for you, they have to apply for a USDA license. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. I'm just trying to concentrate small things like the health certificate. Now, the health certificate is basically your pet's golden ticket to ride. Anytime a pet travels across state lines, it has to follow the state's import requirements. Um, some of them say they don't need one. Some of them say they do. Just to be safe, I would suggest getting one all the time because that guarantees your pet's health. Because you could have someone that's a rescue, just a random person, a breeder, say, "Oh, my dog's healthy. He gets all his shots." That might have been so when they went to the vet 6 months ago, but that doesn't mean that they're healthy and they're good to go by the time frame that I have to pick them up. It's also required, my liability insurance needs some sort of documentation that the pet was received healthy, not only because it is a requirement for the state and everything else, it's also a requirement for my just business policy. It's good practice because without it, I can't guarantee you're getting a healthy animal, and I'm not going to have that come back on me. Now, the consequences of not having the health certificate, from what I've read, and it's actually printed on some of the official USDA forms, $10,000 fine. Now, I've heard some instances where someone got pulled over, either they weren't USDA licensed or they didn't have a health certificate, and they were fined $3,000 per animal in the van. Their van got impounded, and the dogs went over to animal control, and they had to work it out with the courts. So it's very important that you have that. And don't let a breeder think that, oh, they only need a health certificate for a plane. I carry the exact same USDA license that an airline carrier, so I have to follow the same policies that an airline does in regarding animal transportation. So it's all modes. It doesn't matter if it's a boat, a ship, a train, a bus, your car. It's all modes of transportation. Now, I do understand, like, I pick up puppies. They're like, "Hey, Adam, they don't have all their shots." Well, that's fine. All they're really looking for is, did they have an examination to make sure they're healthy? Their temperature. Every vet does it differently, and it all just depends on the state. But they're pretty much all the same. And they'll basically fill out the information on the health certificate. Basically, it's just an exam. It literally takes probably like 15 minutes. I've done it for my dog, where I stay in Florida. And they just do a health exam, and then there might be some blanks to fill in, either like shot records or rabies records or anything like that, just to make sure that they're A-okay to travel. Um, Now, sometimes there are a fee to it because the vet might have to pay a fee to the state or whoever they need to pay a fee for. I've seen them go from $20 to $50 on top of the normal vet exam. But to make sure that your dog's healthy, sorry, my dog is shaking everything. Sorry, my dog is on the same object that my camera's on and had a scratch. So it just guarantees that your pet is healthy, you know. So that's the other way to tell from a reputable transporter. If your vet checked off that your dog's healthy and you receive your dog unhealthy, then it's obvious there's someone to blame here. Unless it's something chronic that the vet may have missed, but that's an extremely rare occasion. Now, every state, their health certificate forms are different. So they may give you like the state. It will have either like the state's official seal or it'll have like a state statute. It'll be like on a carbon copy piece of paper or a regular 8x11. But it'll have some sort of official thing that will say like Florida Department of Agriculture or Louisiana Department of Agriculture. It'll have the wording that will say like CVI or Certificate of Veterinary Inspection. This is completely different than shot records. If your breeder says, oh, we self-administer shots, they have all their records, no, that's not a health certificate. Or if you get a receipt, like a receipt that says like vaccination record, that's not a health certificate. It's an actual like legal official form. Now, not to make things more confusing, so the USDA has their own health certificate. It's called a Form 7001. I would say about half, if not more, the states don't accept that form because it's in the public domain, which means you could print it off and forge all the information on it. So a lot of times they only want the state. So that goes back to looking at what the state of destination's requirements are for that. Um, so that's pretty much really all that I need to be able to pet it, other than like food or leashes or bowls or a sweater or something comfortable to live for. I cannot transport your pet without that health certificate. And I can't tell you how many times that I've either asked for a photo of it like the day of or the day before and they don't do it, or I'll show up to a breeder or someone's house and the one they don't have the health certificate, or they're trying to pass off a dog that's not 8 weeks old. You're going to lose your deposit. I mean, I'm not trying to like buttercup it, but this is a very important conversation. It's very serious because it's my livelihood. It's my job. It's all transporters. One bad apple can ruin the entire thing. So it's extremely important that I have that health certificate because I can't cross state line without it. The other thing too is California, you can't even get into California without having to go through a USDA checkpoint. So they may check it, they may not. I've been through California bunches of times and I've got this all over my vehicle and they never once ask for documentation, but I have it just in case they change policy. Now this only, the health certificate only applies to mammals. So if I'm shipping like a snake or a lizard, I don't need that, but I might have to check your state's fish and wildlife requirements for exotics because I might need to have special permits for that. Or if you've got something like an endangered species or something that's conditional, there might be more than just a health certificate that I'm going to need because I just saw last week a bald eagle trying to get shipped and I wasn't touching that. That's just way too much red tape. Now, there are sometimes there's two different types of health certificates. One is either going to be just cats and dogs, and then the other is going to be small animals like your hamsters or rabbits. And yes, I know your $30 pet rabbit or whatever is going to need a health certificate, surprisingly enough. Yes, even if you've got to ship a hamster across state line, it needs a health certificate. Now I'm trying to make it that it's not that complex. You literally just need to tell your vet, hey, I've got a pet that I'm trying to go across state lines with. I need a health certificate. They should know what you're talking about, and they will get the proper paperwork to get it done. Because also on some of those health certificates, there are a checkbox that the vet checked the destination state to make sure that the vet meets all the requirements. There's my dog again doing it. So, But I'm not going to go into too many detail. I know there's other transporters that will say other things that I do, and I agree with them. But I'm just trying to keep this as simple as possible. Um, so if you have any other questions, you can reach out to me. My Facebook page is American Pet Transport LLC. I do have TikTok. It's American Pet Transport. I have Instagram. It's American underscore pet underscore transport. I'm on all the socials, or you could just get a hold of me on here if you got any other additional questions. I did recently, as of this is February of 2022, I just applied for my passport card, so I should be able to do shipments here in a few months through Canada and Alaska. But that's a whole nother video for another conversation, because I can't just go into Canada with a health certificate. There's a lot more other paperwork I need to get. Just try to keep this short. If there's anything that you may think I left out or other things I need to concern, I could just make a video short or just redo this whole video. Thanks.